Hi everybody. Sorry I'm a little late. I had to redo some things for the lives I did for that online class I was part of and had to change some things right when I was getting ready to go live. Forgot that I needed to do that. So it wasn't technical difficulties, it was human error. So many things to remember. Let's see here. Get your comments going up here so I can see them. Get my YouTube going. And last time, I want to apologize to my YouTube people. Let me make sure that I definitely, yeah, good. Last time I forgot to hit go live. Like I said, there's so many things to get together for lives. It's fun, but you have to remember everything. There we go. So now I've got my chat up for my YouTube. And I'm glad you're here. I'm going to share with you today the new Ornate Garden Suite. I am absolutely in love with this suite. I think I'm going to wait a little bit and see if some people come on here. If not, you'll be joining me in the recorded version, and that is fine. Oh, hi, Pamela. YouTube. Good. So YouTube's coming on. So I'll go ahead and get started so you guys don't get bored. And sometimes here, let me try something with my tablet. There are times my tablet tells me nobody is on Facebook, and they really are. So let me click that on and get that going again. Okay, let's see how we do here. First off, I want to tell you about the Ornate Suite that I'm going to be telling you about. There we go. The Ornate Garden Suite. There's always an early release every year right before the new catalog comes out. At least it has been the last few years. I shouldn't say always. And I think this is my favorite one they've picked out for the early release. We've had some good ones in the last couple of years, but this one is gorgeous and you are going to love it. So let's go ahead and get started. The early release, like you can see on this picture, is April 1st to May 31st, 2020. I'm going to switch cameras here and get my chat back up for YouTube. Hi, Deborah. Okay, well, Deborah says she's on Facebook and YouTube, so I'm not sure. It must be my tablet, so I am not going to see your comments. On Facebook, please comment, and I'll get back with you as soon as it's over. Let me see if I can get it going again. Yeah, it's my tablet. I don't know why it does that sometimes, but I will come back. So if you have any questions or if you like anything, just please comment and do any emojis you want to do. And same on YouTube. If I don't see your question right off, I will get back with you right away. Okay, let's get going with the product. I want to show you everything that comes in the suite. Now you can get this whole suite together, which I forgot to get that paper with me. Look, I think it's 100 and, oh, here we go. Get my little cheat sheet out here. If you want to get the whole suite, it's $136.75. Now, when I looked this morning, this bundle right here is on low inventory. Yesterday, it actually said it was on back order, and then this morning it said it was back in stock. So we'll see, but it's because of these dies. These have been super, super popular, and they're already selling out. So you want to get these as soon as you can. But being on back order, you can still place your order and just get on the back order list. And the one thing, like say you bought this bundle, the stamp set would still come to you right away, but the dies will be delayed, just so you know. Okay, so this is the Ornate Thanks bundle. I love these dies. They are so pretty. I was hoping I was going to be able to die cut all of these to show you what they look like, and I ran out of time. So what I'm going to do this, and I'm going to have a link below in my description. I always do a blog post with this, and it'll have all the dimensions and the supply list on it. I will take pictures of what all these dies do so that we can see them up and close. You can kind of get an idea looking, but I want to make sure you see that, and you will see that in some of the cards I'm going to share with you. So there's the Ornate Thanks bundle, and if you get just the bundle, it is $46.75, and that's 10% off from buying these individually. So whenever I say bundle, you're saving 10%. Another bundle, there are two bundles in this set, and this one's gorgeous too, Ornate Style. I love the flowers in this. I also love these dies. Aren't those gorgeous? I love how they all layer together, and this is actually called Ornate Layers for the dies. If you get the whole bundle, it is $52, and that's also, like I said, is 10% off. So just gorgeous. Now the magnetic sheet that you see on there, that does not come with it. That's something I add to my own dies. But it does, they are taped on, and I just put my magnet on my backing. So the backing you do get, so you do have some support to take care of these. And this wonderful, and these envelopes that come with it. I keep all mine stored and put a magnet sheet on top and keep them in my envelopes. So those are those two bundles. And what else is in this suite, and this is something I can show you, the Ornate Floral. I think you can see the neat flowers in this. This is one of our 3D folders. Love this. Oh, Sabrina, if you ordered this, you're going to love it. You're going to love it. I just can't get over how much I love this set. I've had a lot of fun making some cards with this week, but I think you can see in the light. Let me get over here. You have to think backwards sometimes with lives. So you can kind of see, I should have put on the lighter cardstock, but I've got some cards so I can show it to you better. And so that's the Ornate Floral. And let me see what price on that. I should have these memorized, but I don't. Okay, that's $9 for that folder. So really, I love this folder too. I love all our 3D folders. And then you can also get these gilded gems. And these are $7. I'll keep them on there. You can see them a little better. And they are faceted. They're just not little epoxy gems or anything like that. They're like diamond shaped. And they're all gold. So you can see how they're glittering in the light. I love them. And then we've got a ribbon combo pack. And it's Old Olive and Terracotta Tile. So it's a shiny, pretty ribbon. I don't know if you can tell that in the screen. I keep getting out of the screen. Sorry about that. I keep forgetting. I've got to use my different camera, so I keep forgetting where the lens is at. So that's that pretty ribbon with that. And you get, it's 5 yards per spool for $7. So that's everything in that suite. So, but if you were to order everything, as you just get everything out here, the dies, the stamp sets, the ribbon, the gilded gems, I'm running out of room here, and the folder, you can get all of that for $136.75 if I'm remembering right. Yes, $136.75. So that's quite a deal, and that includes the 10% off with these two bundles. And oh boy, I almost forgot one of the important things. The designer series paper. This also comes with the $136.75. Don't want to forget that. I knew this didn't look right because there's a ton in this suite. So let me get those out of the way. Let me show you this beautiful paper. It's a specialty paper, and you can see it right here. It's got gold foil in it. So isn't that gorgeous? And I like that they've given us this white piece because you can color these in if you wanted to. With blends, you can sponge it with ink. Just so many different things you can do with this. And then here's the other side with that, a really pretty print. And this would go really good with our daisy punch too. I can see us getting all our daisy punches back out again with this set. Isn't this gorgeous? This is mint macaron with the gold. So pretty. Sometimes with lives, it doesn't come out right with foil, but hopefully you can see the design in that. And then this pretty piece on the other side. And this is a 12 by 12 sheet set. Here's another white one with some different flowers with the gold foil. And then this side. So that's another one you could color in with blends or pencils or whatever, watercolor pencils, whatever you want to do. This one is Old Olive with the gold. Another pretty foiled one. And this side here. Then we've got this one. Now this one is not a specialty paper in the set. It's got this one and this one. So there's no foil on either side of this one. And this one here. And these are actually the two that I'm going to be using in the card I'm making at the end of the video. So I'm going to show you a couple cards I have made with it. But I'm also going to make one at the end too. So that way you can see me demonstrate one. So don't forget that also comes in the suite. But you can also get all of these things I've shown you separately. You don't have to buy all the suite together, which I think is nice. In the past we've had things where you've had to buy everything. This time you've got your choice. I went ahead and bought everything. As you can see, I love new product. Okay, I'm going to try to get things situated here. Now I want to show you some cards I made. This one is using the color scheme in the paper. Let me bring us a little closer. And I don't know if you can tell here, I stamped the big floral image in this set here. This one right here. Just stamped it in different places, but embossed it with gold embossing powder. Then this is terracotta tile cardstock. Then I colored all these in with terracotta markers. So all of these cards that I'm showing you, I'm giving you little tips on how I made them, but I'm going to be doing videos on my YouTube channel real soon on these three cards I'm going to be showing you. So don't worry, you'll learn how to make these. I just knew we wouldn't have time today to make all four of these cards because they take a little while. But I love the little gold gilded gems I put in there. Just kind of sets it off and makes it sparkle. Love the gold with that. Now the first card I ever made was this one. And this one, since I didn't use the designer series paper, I actually embossed this with copper. So I want to show you how that color combo looks good with copper too. It's a little hard to tell in there we go. You can kind of see it sparkle a little bit there. But I really like this. And I'm really, yeah, Pamela, I'm glad they brought this out early too so we can play with it. It is so much fun. I really like it. Especially now that we're all home, we need some new product to be able to play with. I know it's making the days a lot easier for me being able to make a bunch of new stuff. So that's that one. And just like I said, I'll do a video on my YouTube channel for this one. Now this one I think might be my favorite. And it's soft colors. I made it using a different color scheme. And like I said, I'll be making a video on this. But just to give you a little hint, I actually stamped this big floral image with Versamark and embossed it with white embossed powder and then watercolored it in. And I don't know if you can tell here, there's a die cut here. This is that big rose border that I put along here. I just use the same color of paper. And if you can look real close, you can see the embossing that I used with that Country Floral embossing folder. I really like how this turned out. This is like, I kind of made this for a wedding card, but it can be so many different ones. You can send this out as a friend card to your friends that you can't see right now. Just gorgeous. I really liked this stamp set. Is just so pretty. Okay, now that I've shown you all the products and everything you need, now we're going to make a card. And I'm bringing in a piece of mint macaron. This is 8.5 by 5.5. I'm going to go ahead and fold this in half. Like so. I always meet the corners up. Oh, I've been throwing things around. So there we go. I knew I had my bone folder over here. And that gives me my nice crisp crease. I'm going to set that to the side. Now I want to show you, here, let me grab I forgot to get my little dish out for my dies. The ones I'm going to use are, let's see here, get hold of them. I'm going to use from the border dies. I'm actually using a couple from each set. Using this border die here. And I'm also using this long one right here. These are kind of long for my dish, but at least I have them out ready to go. And then I've also got, I'm using the smaller ornate frame here. Ornate is the perfect name for this set, I think. Those are very ornate. They did a good job. And one thing I am finding out, our stitched rectangle dies work great with this set, especially with those layers, these frames that I just showed you. And the one I'm going to be using is the number 2 die. Whenever I say a number, I count from the smallest out. So this is 1 and this one's 2. So I'll be using, well, getting more than I need, and that's the one I'm going to be using. This one works really good for the inside of this frame too. This is actually, let me show you, this one here, I used this smaller one for the thanks here and then made a little big mat with the early espresso and then put it on the frame. So you can definitely use the smaller one. But I want to show you how you can use the next size up, make it fit really good in this frame. Okay, so if you have the stitched rectangle dies, then you're good to go when you get this. You definitely get those out when you get your new items. Okay, so I'm going to grab a piece of Whisper White. This is a quarter piece. It's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I'm going to show you the sandwich here I used to make this. Get this in here. I put this here, and I played around with this. I tried this one with thick Whisper White and had a little trouble getting it to die cut in the middle. I'm going to play around with that because I know there's a way to get that to work. And I was also doing it this way. I think it works a lot better. Ooh, I better get my cutting pad on here before I make a mistake. I think it works better if you put it through your big shot going lengthwise. It cuts really, really well. Now, I learned something with this. I first started to die cut it this way. That's not how it works. You want these little sticks that are sticking out here on the ends, those you want closer to the edge. So that's the trick with this. This will make it work. So make sure that these lines are close to the edge of the cardstock. I'm going to line this and kind of make sure the flowers are within the paper, and then make sure that these are straight, about the same width away from the edge. It's going to be moving on me stand up. I can get a better look at it this way. And then you put, oops, there we go, a cutting pad on and run it through your big shot this way. And this is what you're going to come out with. I went ahead and did this ahead of time. Let me put some white paper underneath. Well, here, we'll just grab this white piece. Actually, let's do it this way. There we go. Isn't that pretty? I love that border. Oops. I kind of grabbed it and tore it up. There we go. It's real easy to fix. Isn't that pretty? I love that border on there. So that's how that was made. Get that die out of the way. And then you're going to need another piece of Whisper White. You can get just a scrap, but this one happens to be 1 3/4 by 3 1/4. And I'm going to use, I guess that's a daisy stamp. Oh, I forgot to show you the colors in the paper. It's Early Espresso, Mint Macaron, Old Olive, and Terracotta Tile. And there is one other color that they have listed, and it's Bumblebee. Well, if you're like, what color is that? I haven't heard of that before. I am guessing that's one of our new in colors. They haven't told us that officially, but I'm sure that's what it is. So these are the colors that we have in stock right now. But in the meantime, while you're waiting to be able to get that Bumblebee color, I found out that So Saffron works really good with this too. So that's the yellow I'm using in this. So aren't those pretty together? I think those are really neat color combo, but that's the color combo in the paper. Okay, so what I did, I took the Early Espresso ink pad, and I'm going to stamp my daisy right here in the middle. Okay, and I'm going to take, let's see, where'd my die? There we go. My rectangle die. And you just center that flower in your die and run it through the Big Shot. And I went ahead and did that ahead of time. And here it is. And I'm going to color this. I'm going to bring this picture in. I'm going to lose my comments for a second, but I'll bring you back. Oops, wait a minute. Wrong. Trying to be all fancy on you, and I messed up the wrong picture. There we go. Now I'll be able to get it to work. I want you to be able to see what I'm doing here. Okay, now I'm going to bring my YouTube comments back up. There we go. And I'm going to color this in with some blends. So I'm using the So Saffron blends, the Crumb Cake blends, and the Mint Macaron. So I'm going to take the light So Saffron. Now, normally I start with the dark, but this one, these shades are real close together. So there's not a lot of blending you have to do. So I'm going to color in all of the petals of this flower. I picked this one because there's not a lot of coloring to do. Those other cards I showed you took a little more time. When I can do a recorded version, I can speed up the coloring process, speed the video up while I'm coloring. Lives, you can't do that. So you shouldn't get too bored me just coloring this one little flower. But I really like this daisy. Isn't it pretty? Now I could just go with that, just with the light So Saffron, but I'm going to take the dark one, and where these lines are right here, actually I could probably, well, I think we're good. I'm going to put a little bit of dark So Saffron here. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Sometimes I get my hand in the way and you can't see what I'm working on. I think we're doing good. So wherever there are lines, I'm just darkening it up a little bit. I love our blends being able to have some neat shading. There we go. So we've got that. Hopefully you can see that. It's a little hard to tell with lives, like I said, but there is some nice shading going on right there. Now I'm going to take my crumb cake. I'm just going to make the center of the center a little dark with the crumb cake, dark crumb cake, and then I'm going to take my light crumb cake and go over it. Now this is how I usually do it. I usually start with the dark, and then I can go over with everything with the light, and that gives me a little bit of shading. So that center is just a little dark, but it's not too dark. It's all blended in really nice. Now I'm bringing in Mint Macaron. Here's the dark one again. I'm going to do the lines in the leaf where I want it to be a little darker. And you do want to go over it just a little bit so it saturates the cardstock. And I'm going to put a little line right here, going really light so I don't make the point too dark. That way I've got that makes my stem a green, not just the Early Espresso color. And I forgot to tell you, I don't know if you noticed, I did stamp this in Early Espresso. I did not use my memento. I have found out that our classics work with the blends too, because they're water-based just like the memento. So if you I didn't want to have a black outline on this, so I used brown instead. So that's the Early Espresso. So I was really excited when I found that out, that you could do that. Okay, put that to the side. Now I'm going to bring in another die that we're going to need. This is a piece of Mint Macaron. It is 2 1/4 by 3 3/4. And I'm going to grab this frame. Here, I'm going to put the screen back out again because I'm not going to have much room to show stuff. Bring it in a little bit. There we go. That's better. Every time I click on my screen, I lose my YouTube. There we go. So I'll put this through my Big Shot, and magic of television, ta-da! I didn't want to, it's been hard lugging in my die cutting machine back and forth, so it's a little easier on me. So here's the frame all ready to go. And I'm going to go ahead and attach my flower piece. As you can see, the blends do soak through the cardstock, but that's what's supposed to happen. So don't worry about that. That's kind of a neat effect. You actually want that to happen because the more it saturates the cardstock, the better it blends. And I'm going to put this right in the middle. That looks pretty good. Okay, put that over to the side. So this is what we've got so far. Oops, except for me flipping dies everywhere. Okay, now let me put that die back so I don't lose it. Never want to lose a die. This is a piece of cardstock. It's 2 3/8 by 1. Now the reason I did 2 3/8, not like an easy 2 1/4 or 2 1/2, I found out that 2 3/8 works perfectly with what I'm making, because I'm going to die cut a little border down here, and it just lines up perfectly with what I'm working with. So I'm going to bring in my Early Espresso again. And this stamp is from the Ornate Thanks. This was from the Ornate Style. This is from the Ornate Thanks, and it says, your kindness is so, your kindness is so loved. I'm going to stamp that at the very top, get as high as I can. That's why I'm so glad these are the words are photopolymer, so much easier to stamp. I guess I should have stayed a little closer. Let me get that up for you. There you go. Now what I'm going to do, I wanted a border down here. This is why I'm doing it all the way up here to the top and made this a little wider. Let me go ahead and grab so you can see the sandwich. Then I'm going to put this on right underneath, and I'm lining, making it so these scallops center perfectly right there. And actually, like I said, with longer ones, it actually does better if you go vertically. So I'll go ahead and, this is the way you want to put it in your Big Shot. You get those lined up. Actually, maybe go down a little farther. And then you run it through. That easy. And you come out with this. Isn't that pretty? I love these border dies. I love how it only die cuts the border part and you can keep it all attached. Now, some of them do cut out the whole thing, which is pretty cool. Like with that rose I had here, I'll show you that in a minute. That one card, you can actually make a die cut with it, but that gives you a really pretty border. And let's see. Okay, now we can start putting the card together. I've done all the stamping. This is a piece of the Ornate Garden paper. Oh, Sabrina, I'm just now seeing your comment. I'm sorry. I get busy and forget to look up at comments. Yeah, this is a lot of fun to work with. Like I said, I just made these cards the last couple days, and I'm having a ball. I'm ready to keep. Sometimes after you make a few cards, you're ready to go on to another stamp set. I'm ready to keep going with this one. It is so pretty. Like, I don't know if I told you the size on this one. This one is a 3 by 5 1/4. Oh, go away. My McGaffey's telling me I have no viruses. I don't need that coming up right now. There we go. So we've got the 3 by 5 1/4. Put it on with my snail. I'm going to put it on this white piece here where I did that pretty border. And I'm going to center the top left and bottom so it looks like we have that same nice white border around the Designer Series paper. There we go, or DSP. If you ever hear anybody say DSP, that's what they're talking about, Designer Series paper. So I've got that on there. I'm going to grab a piece of this ribbon. This one is the terracotta tile, and this is the it's a 7-inch piece. Actually, I have never thought about this. I saw another demonstrator do this. I'm like, silicone mat. Every time I put adhesive or snail on my ribbon, I tend to get it on my workspace. If you have a silicone mat, just grab that, and then you're going to have all your glue. If anything comes off the ribbon, it's going to go on here, and you can just wipe it off. It doesn't stay on here. So I love that mat. I'm getting it out all the time now. So now I'm going to wrap this around the edge. I don't want to cover up any of that pretty border, so I'm putting it right along the edge of the DSP and then attach it to the back like so. Okay, and now that that's got the ribbon on it, now we're going to go ahead and put that on the card base. Since it's a big piece, I went ahead and put one in the center too. And I wanted to have a little bit of the green showing here because this is actually, you're not going to see any green from the top and bottom. So let me stand up so I can get this on here better. But you still want your flowers to be within, so that's kind of hanging over a little bit. So I'm going to move it over a little bit more. So not much green is shown, so you could go all the way over to the fold, and that's fine. But there we go. Isn't that pretty? I love having that green behind there. Okay, now we're going to bring these guys in. This is already attached. I'm going to put both of these on with dimensionals. I almost always use dimensionals. I go through them like crazy. I love them. I even use up, and if you've watched my videos before, you see me cutting these things off too, because I use them a lot too. But since I have full ones on this sheet, I'll go ahead and get those on there. And I'm also doing it on my little greeting. So here's a little trick I also learned, if I can find where I put my Take Your Pick tool. Thought I had that out. Well, I did. It must have rolled off. Oh, shoot. I always wanted to show you. Oh, here it is. That's one thing when you do lives, you start throwing things all over the place and cover things up. If you go at an angle with your paper piercer that's in the Take Your Pick tool, because I don't know about you, whenever I take these off with my hands, I end up dropping them on the floor and they go all over the house. I mean, I'm finding little dimensional papers everywhere. If you go at an angle, poke the paper and kind of go out this way. See how it went right on my tip? And you can go and do all of these like that. Push it in, go at an angle, and take it off this way, not just straight up, because it'll just come right out again. Kind of take it over off the side. Now I've got all my pieces there on my little piercer, and they're all in one place, and they go right into my trash. Another demonstrator was doing that on one of her videos. I'm like, oh, I love it. I had seen other people do that too. I just forgot all about it, so she refreshed my memory. So I'm going to put that right up here at the top, center. I think that flower looks so pretty with this paper. I love how Stampin' Up! Always has the paper coordinate with the stamp set. Really cool. Almost took that off my old-fashioned way. I want to keep doing this so I get used to it. There we go. Oh, that one I didn't get off very well. It does take a little practice, so don't worry if you don't get it the first couple times. I'm getting a lot better at it. Then I'm going to put this down here. There, we've got that. Now I'm going to grab I wanted some bling on this. You always need to have bling. These are our basic rhinestones. I thought about doing the gold, but it didn't quite wasn't going to be the look that I wanted. So I'm going to grab the smallest rhinestones. And I'm going to put them right on my flower centers in this die cut over here. Okay, the one here. And one thing I'm going to show you too, I didn't put any glue on this border here because for one thing, you kind of get glue sticking out of the holes and it's kind of ornate. It's just a little hard to put glue on. You can, of course. But what I do, this is kind of flipping up a little bit on me. So I'm going to grab my glue dots. Just about done with this one finally. I lost the cardboard thing in it that usually is in it. So I have a little hard time getting hold of them. But what I'm doing, I am rolling up this glue dot a little bit because it needs to be smaller. These are too big to fit behind those flowers. So I just got like almost, people call them snots. This almost looks like a piece of snot now. So what I'm going to do, this one that's kind of flipping around me, I'm going to turn it over and put this little glue dot on there and bring it back over and stick it down. And just doing that one ends up holding them all down pretty good. Those dimensionals don't quite, the rhinestones don't stick. I thought they would stick it down a little bit, but they don't because it's too raised with the paper. I love that little bit of bling. So there's that card. Oh, we got to do the inside. So you take a piece of this white again. This is 4 by 5 1/4. And I stamped my little daisy right here in the bottom, like so. And then I colored it in just like I did in the on my card. So you didn't have to sit and watch me color again. Voila. So I've got this one. This one is colored exactly like I colored this one. But I want to stamp my big thank you in here. Since a lot of times this one ends up going, you would say, thank you, your kindness is so loved. You put this on the inside. I keep getting out of the screen. Sorry about that. I wanted the smaller one on my front of my card because this is just too big for what I was going for. I loved it on one of my other cards, but I decided I'm going to put the thank you on the inside. So I'm going to stamp this. I want to show you how easy this is to stamp. put it across the top. And there you go. Isn't that pretty? Now I'm going to put that on the inside. Those of you that have watched some of my videos, you know I like to decorate my inside now. For the longest time I didn't. I used to only do it when the cardstock was dark. But it really makes the card extra special when you do the inside too. So that was this week's card. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you're watching on YouTube, even if you're watching on Facebook, if you want to see my videos when I make these cards, here I'll just spread out all the cards that I've made with this so far. And believe me, I'm going to be making a whole lot more. Let me see if I can get them on the screen here. Here, let's zoom out just a little bit. There we go. Now you can see them all. Get my YouTube stuff back up. There we go. So here are all the cards. I will be making videos of these 3 here. And if you want to be notified when you see them, you can subscribe to my channel. I've got those of you who are watching on Facebook, the link to my YouTube channel is below. Those of you on YouTube, just click the subscribe button on the screen and then click that little bell, and then you'll get notified and you'll know when I make these videos. And I should be making those within a few days. So that way you can learn how to make those also. So again, thanks for coming this week. Sorry I wasn't here last week. I had just I did like 4 or 5, I think it's 4 Facebook Lives. Somebody switched to me again. I did like 4 different Facebook Lives at this group workshop that I did with my upline. It was a lot of fun, but there's no way I could do both. So I'm glad I was able to come back again this week. So I'll be back again next Friday. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet, but I'm going to hopefully, I know it'll be fun. I always have fun with you guys. So I hope you have a great weekend, guys, and take care of yourselves. Bye.